Hello, everyone. My name is Walter McCritty. I'm the founder and CEO of BE LUX, which is a parent company, Bold Elegance and Luxury. So I wanted to take a moment. I've set up and we have a line of videos that we're going to be generating for information and news and training in regards to AI and some other projects that we're involved with Belux and Bold Elegance and Luxury. Um, but before continuing on with those videos, I just wanted to take a moment and I thought it was going to be really important to just share why we're doing what we're doing. I've been working on this business for the better part of 10 plus years now. And so I've dedicated a lot of myself and my energy, my time to this. And so I thought it'd be pertinent to just kind of give a little bit of context behind why we feel what we're doing is so important. So while building this platform, I've not only been behind the scenes doing the admin and other CEO and executive roles and functions such as capital raising, management, and other things of that sort on the back end. I've also been working in the gig economy, and this has been probably one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in my life. And so I've worked doing little small jobs here and there, little hustles and things like that for as long as I can remember. And so the gig economy has been very empowering and it's been incredible the technology that's enabled people to do this now as a profession. But there's a lot of things that have come with that I think that need to be not only addressed, but also can be improved. And so recently I came onto this organization. I recently moved out to California as we've been pitching to some investors out here in Silicon Valley and San Francisco Bay Area. And so they have what's called the California Gig Union. I'm gonna share. They just recently had Senator Bernie Sanders came out, and I'll share here in my background here. You guys can see it. So you can see here, and this is just really the website really quickly, California Gig Union. And so you got there Governor Gavin Newsom signing a bill for the Uber and Lyft drivers and the gig workers. And so this union is really doing a lot of work within the state of California. Um, Senator Bernie Sanders, and this is what I was just mentioning here with Bernie Sanders just visiting and kind of doing some work within the community as well. And without getting too political here, um, again, and I'm going to go really quickly into a letter that I just sent the gig union. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about this. And again, I'm very passionate about a lot of the work that I'm doing. He was here talking about robo taxis and the unions and the future of work, the future of gig work. This is a very big deal. And this is something, again, obviously, that I'm very passionate about. And so I'm just going to Okay, so I'm just going to read this letter that I sent to the California Gig Union, and it's going to have a lot of information here, and hopefully you sit and listen to it. And this, again, is something that I'm obviously very passionate about. Hello, thank you for welcoming me into the California Gig Workers Union. I'm proud to stand in solidarity with the thousands of drivers, workers who create a fair and more sustainable future for gig workers. I want to briefly introduce myself beyond just being a driver and worker myself. I'm also the founder of a technology company currently based here in San Francisco that is focused on building solutions in the gig economy, hospitality, and service industries. A core part of our mission is to leverage emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and blockchain to create more equitable systems that better align incentives for workers, customers, and platforms. Like many drivers and workers, I've experienced firsthand some of the challenges within the current gig economy model. Rather than simply criticizing those systems, my focus has been on building alternative infrastructure that prioritizes transparency, fair compensation, and long-term participation for the people who actually power these networks. Because of that, the work your organization is doing is extremely important to me, both personally and professionally. I strongly believe there may be meaningful opportunities for collaboration, dialogue, and shared learning as we collectively explore ways to improve conditions and expand opportunity for gig workers. If possible, I would greatly appreciate the opportunity to connect with someone from your team to discuss in more detail. In solidarity, Walter McCready. And so, and this is a letter I sent to the gig union here in California, but you have the gig economy all across the world. And I'm going to dive into here just another image that I want to share for my pitch deck. I'll share at least one or two images. Hold on one second. So this is literally the problem slide for my investor pitch deck. And you can see here very prominently a worker protesting. And it says overwork, undervalued, exploited. And so this is exactly what I've been kind of really focused on finding a solution for the better part of 10 years now with our company, BE LUX and Bold Elegance and Luxury. Um, this is an extreme problem that's only going to get worse and exacerbated as artificial intelligence and these technologies, which I'm very passionate about, and I really enjoy creating and utilizing these technologies. But it's actually going to make some of these issues worse if they aren't properly addressed and solutions aren't more equitably integrated into existing structures. Stop here for a quick second just to further emphasize the size of this problem. And this is again for my investor pitch deck, and this is again the market size of what we're going at. But $10 trillion, and this is again much bigger than just Uber and Lyft. This entire gig economy is global, and these are services across various industries all across the world. So this is much more than just one industry in one part of the world. This is a global problem that's again very not only alarming, but it's very important for a lot of people. Now, as I mentioned, I've actually been working in the gig economy myself for several years. Since I've been building the platform BE LUX, we've been doing jobs across many of these different services. And so I want to share here, just as an example, my 2025 tax returns. And so this is actually my personal tax return from the Lyft platform. And this is just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So I earned in total in 2025 $90,000 just working on the Lyft platform with $6,000 in tips. And so $90,000. Actually, I didn't earn $90,000. Lyft earned $90,000. They took out $67,700 in fees. I earned $22,000. So now they sent me a 1099, which I have to report on my taxes, $90,000. So now I have to explain to the IRS that difference. And this actually became an issue recently. And I was actually very frustrated by this. Realizing, again, I'd never really paid much attention to it. It was just recently that I really focused on kind of our finances and our numbers. And I realized just how much and how unfair this system actually is. And so this is something that I've been kind of preaching and passionate about for a number of years now, at least 10 years, at least 10 years. But diving into the numbers and seeing just how much I was affected by this personally, 75% of my earnings were taken by fees from Lyft. This is happening to millions of gig workers all across the globe. That is a huge issue. 75% of the money that I earned was taken by the platform. This is exactly why we've created BE LUX. This is why we are so passionate about what we're doing. This is an actual 1099. This is a summary of my 1099, actually, that was sent from Lyft. So this isn't something that I've kind of calculated on my own, or these are the actual numbers here, and you can kind of see this here. I've already there's no confidential or personal information here, but from $90,000, 90, almost $100,000, I received $22,000. So that's about 20% is what I was taking in earnings after the fees. Let that sink in. And this is not just me. This is millions of people this is happening to in the current state of the gig economy. So this brings up another key point, and this is something again I've spent a lot of time researching and developing and looking into the organization structure. And so, as much time as I spend developing the technology and infrastructure behind how our bookings and the fee structure and the margins, capitalism in general is very extractive. And so capitalism wants to extract as much value as possible from the labor for shareholders. This is just the nature of capitalism. I'm not anti-capitalism, but I am anti-exploitation. And I believe in equity and a solution that is fair for both the labor as well as all parties involved throughout the value chain. And so this is something, again, I felt that it was very important, and some people may care less about this, but I really wanted to share this and share why we're doing what we're doing. It's not just about creating another platform. It's not just about creating equity and incentives for the drivers. And we want to be fair for everyone. We want to be fair for the investors as well. And so we want to be mindful of those who are contributing and helping us build this platform. And so one of the structures that we looked at and we've been exploring with is a public benefit company. And so this was something that was actually very new to me. I actually first heard about it with OpenAI. We do a lot of work with ChatGPT. And so recently they transitioned from a nonprofit to a public benefit company. And I really wanted to learn more about what a public benefit company is and what that means and what are some examples of public benefit companies. And so, in essence, basically, a public benefit company has a mission. It's not a nonprofit, it's a for profit company, but it has a mission that it holds at a higher regard than just profits. So it's not about just creating the highest amount of return for its investors. That's again, obviously, you want to reward your investors. So that's obviously what your objective is, but you also don't want to only extract that from your labor. And so you have a thesis or a mission, which is again of some public benefit or some public good that is more important than just earning the most possible return for your investors. And so, and again, it's just trying to be mindful of all aspects of the value chain from the labor all the way to your shareholders and your investors. Our goal is still to take this company public, and we want to do that. And so, this image and this diagram here just kind of outlines a little bit of our structure. And this is nothing proprietary here. And so we have a kind of a lot of different components here, and this is probably going to be confusing to some people. But the important thing is within that structure still gives us the ability to go public and still gives us the ability to leverage public markets. And so we're still able to go through that process. And some examples, and I have them here, Allbirds, Warby Parker, and Lemonade. And so these are some very notable public companies that have a strong mission and they're public. And so they still are able to both satisfy their investors and their shareholders' needs and requirements as far as those financial markets go, but they have a mission that's more important and is also tied to some sort of a public benefit or a public good. So it's not nonprofit, it's a for-profit company with a mission that's very important to them. And this is, again, what I truly believe with BE LUX in our, we have a structure that allows us to have a mission that is important for everyone involved, from the labor all the way to our shareholders. And so, and again, and I'm going to go into this probably more detail at a later date. Just wanted to kind of give a little bit of insight. We're using some um, blockchain and what's called a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. And so we're able to leverage, again, AI, blockchain, some of this very innovative technology And then you're talking about basically the legacy existing gig economy, $10 trillion a year. $10 trillion every single year goes into this gig economy. So that's a total addressable market there. So it's a huge opportunity. And we're just looking at leveraging that in a way that is different than it's been done before. And so this is, again, I think, revolutionary, but it's a revolution that needs to happen. And so, especially as we're moving forward with AI adoption and worker displacement and all of these things that are happening at a rapidly alarming and increasingly pace, these are things that are going to be more and more important. I think that we think about this. And so again, that's I've thought about this for 10 plus years, and I just wanted to share as we continue to build and evolve on this, why we're doing it and what we're doing. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully this isn't going to be too long after I edit it. I'll try to minimize and kind of condense this as much as possible, but this is some very important information. So I really hope that you guys understand everything that I'm saying. I'll try to produce some more content to help explain and break this down. But just in closing, the future of work is changing rapidly with AI, automation, and global platforms. We truly believe the next generation of technology should empower workers, not replace or exploit them. That's the mission behind BeLux and what we're doing. I really wanted to emphasize that. I want to make sure that that message comes across strongly to all those who are interested in supporting us or even opposed to us. And we recognize that there may be some opposition there. But again, we're ready to stand on what we believe in, and we want to continue on that mission. We hope that you all have a blessed day, and we look forward to working with you all, seeing you all, and being involved in this new future that we plan to create together. Bye.